Manifestation is one of the most socially acceptable forms of self-sabotage there is, and almost no one realizes that they're doing it. Because the moment you say, I'm trying to manifest something, or I am manifesting X, Y, and Z, you have quietly agreed that you are not the one in control. You have split yourself into two, the one who wants and the one who withholds. That split is sabotage. Manifestation, as it's commonly taught, trains you to rehearse lack with spiritual language. It keeps you focused on what isn't yet, what hasn't arrived, what still needs fixing. And every time you do that, you reinforce the identity of someone who is not yet whole. Then that identity becomes the ceiling. Most people think that they're sabotaging themselves through fear, procrastination, or bad habits. But the deepest self-sabotage is more subtle than that. It's outsourcing your authorship while calling it faith. When you visualize instead of embody, when you affirm instead of decide, when you ritualize instead of move, you're telling reality, I don't trust myself to stand as the source. That's not humility. That's disempowerment disguised as spirituality. Because the one who is asking is not standing as the one who has, and the one who is waiting is unconsciously committed to delay. That's why so many people stay stuck for years manifesting the same things. Not because manifestation doesn't work, but because it works perfectly at preserving the identity of the seeker. And guess what? The seeker never arrives. This is where self-sabotage locks in. You delay ownership, you delay decision, you delay embodiment, and you call the delay divine timing. But divine timing was never meant to replace responsibility. It was meant to respond to alignment. When ancient teachings spoke of asking, they weren't talking about pleading with the universe. They were talking about alignment so clean that resistance completely collapses. To ask was to stand without any contradiction, without inner negotiation, without the quiet belief that you're not enough yet. Self-sabotage ends the moment you stop trying to become worthy of what you already are. Because creation does not respond to effort, it responds to identity. Reality reorganizes itself around who you believe yourself to be, not what you hope will happen one day. This is why embodiment changes everything. When you stop asking for abundance and start moving in the truth of what you are, lack loses its leverage. When you stop manifesting love and start being unavailable for relationships that don't meet you, the pattern breaks. When you stop visualizing purpose and let your life be rearranged by truth, momentum replaces motivation. And here's the part that most people miss. Self-sabotage isn't destructive because it fails. It's destructive because it works. It works at keeping you small. It works at delaying your authority. It works at convincing you that one day you'll arrive, but creation doesn't arrive. Creation stands. God doesn't wait. God doesn't hope. God doesn't manifest. God simply is. And the moment you stop sabotaging yourself by asking for permission to exist fully, reality stops resisting you. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped pretending you weren't the source all along. And that self-sabotaging part of you was actually protecting you. It was the superpower that reminded you that you can choose. It all works in cycles, and we're exploring reality creation and the 7 cycles of self-sabotage in the live event that we have this week. If you are a cycle breaker, then come and grab your seat at the link in my bio. It's time to shift today, not tomorrow. I'll see you there.